Hi, everybody. It's Christy, and it is Friday morning, and it's time for our test gardens for the planted members. And it is a rainy day here in Northern California. And so I apologize for going a little bit later here. Literally right when I was going out at 10:30, it started pouring. So it actually right now it broke away a little bit. So I'm going to make this a real quick one, but I think it's an important one because I want to talk to you guys about what it means when it rains and what we do in the winter when it rains. So I'm going to talk about that today. And I'm also going to show you a little bit about harvesting, because chances are your bok choy and your arugula that you got back in November, that stuff is probably going strong, and you need to make sure that you are harvesting it. So I want to walk through and just show you some different plants and what looks like it can be harvested and what should be thinned out for some of the multi-seeded plants, and then also what you should wait on a little bit. I've got a very large array of plants out there because, of course, we're testing a lot of different things. So I'll show you some different things that we're doing. And all the testing is always for your guys' benefit, because we are learning what works and what doesn't, and where we can kind of push the envelope and things like that in our container gardening. So before I go out there, because it is sort of raining, I wanted to say that what you want to do in the rain, if you're in Northern California, it's going to be raining off and on for the next few weeks. So here's something to say. First off, the plants love the freshwater rain, so that is a good thing. But now if it is raining a lot and it continues to rain a lot, you probably want to move these pots. Don't move them inside. You don't need to do that, but I would potentially move them under cover so that maybe they're not getting so wet. But they do want to get a little wet. But make sure that you just kind of monitor that, because what can happen is there's always different pathogens that are just kind of laying around on the soil and such. That's totally normal. Remember, living soil has a ton of microbes in it. And so if it's getting too wet, you may see some green mold on the top of the soil. That is okay. Do not worry about it. It's not hard for the plant. Now, of course, if it gets completely moldy, that's a different thing. But what you can do is you can just scrape off that top of the mold or just let it dry out. It's totally fine. Those pathogens are always there. You just don't know. You don't see them because they're microscopic. But when it rains and it's very wet, dewy, that's going to happen. Now, because it's raining and your plants are going to be getting, plenty of water, make sure, doesn't mean you ignore them, okay? For sure, please remember, you still want to check in on them, okay? Because what's interesting, especially if you've got a wall, the way the irrigation system works is that water runs down the back of it. And so, inside. So the rain is not really getting where the roots are. So, real important to also still be checking on the moisture of your soil and see, okay? If you're in the containers and it's on the ground, it probably will get plenty of water if it continues to rain a lot. So those are just some tips for you to know. One thing also that could happen that you need to be careful of, if it's winter and it's really cold at night and it's been raining a lot, you got to watch out a little bit for frost. That might be another reason why you want to bring those containers just closer in to potentially your home, like on the outside, but just kind of so they're protected by the warmth of maybe an overhang. If you put your plants all close together, that also creates a little microclimate for them. So those are just some little tips for you to know. So let's go on outside, and I am going to, we're going to do some harvesting. Let me pop this around so you can see. And I hope that it's not raining. Oh, good. Okay, it's raining a little bit. So we're going to go over here, and I'm going to go over here first, and I'm going to show you just some of the containers that we're kind of playing around with. And here first is I'm growing some radish microgreen seeds. Just one thing to know that actually is so cool about growing the microgreens, they stay fresh for a very long time. So this has been like this for over a week now. You can kind of see I have been cutting around the edges of that. So I just grab a little bit, put them on a sandwich, put them on scrambled eggs, things like that. But they go really strong. When you buy those at a farmer's market, they wilt and they lose that crispness. They kind of get all soggy literally within days. So, okay, I will not be deterred. It just dropped off, and I think it's because it's raining so much. Maybe a raindrop disconnected us. I don't know. But I'm going to try again.